Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my third iteration of my endless run Avalancher. And this is actually a Shaman build that you don't see very often. And I was able to stream it for over 5 hours on Twitch yesterday, fine-tuning and changing a lot of things. And after playing it all morning, I feel like it is in a really good spot. As always, we will look at gameplay, skills, passives, gear, and of course break down the character sheet. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm going to be using for this build are Fury Leap, Warcry, Maelstrom, Ice Thorns, and Avalanche. And the reason why it's called an endless run Avalancher is because you just continuously run. You will get the picture as we start. And we are off. See you later. And you just run. Pretty simple idea. And if anything chases you, they will get caught in the storm. Of course, you want to go back and kill stuff. You could do that as well. But as you could see, the Avalanche crushes. And it is very easy with this build to maintain 6 stacks of Maelstrom because you're going to be getting 4 stacks every time you Warcry, and you can do that every 4 seconds. You also have a chance to get a stack when you are hit. You also get to have a chance to get a stack when you kill an enemy. So pretty simple. Most of the time you are over 10 stacks. Oh yeah, it even follows you when you leap. And as you can see, anytime you fight a boss, which I will showcase in a second, you literally just circle it. And I actually fought the Emperor of Corpses last night in empowered content, which of course this is all empowered content. Let me show the modifiers over here on the right. And it does really well. Run number 2, and we are off. Come and get me. We jump through a wall. And as you can see, when it comes to large packs of enemies, this build does very well. And I feel like it's not talked about very often, but what this build does have that you won't find with other builds is a lot of fun factor. You're jumping everywhere, you're getting tons of packs together, you're super fast because you basically always have haste and frenzy. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I try to imagine like 4 of these builds on multiplayer. The future. And I don't know if I mentioned it before too, but the gear that I'm wearing right now is not end game gear. I made this during my stream on Twitch. So what you're seeing right now during empowered content can be so much better as well. We don't even have, we're just using a rare weapon. And that's it. Empowered Shade of Oribus, of course, modifiers on the right hand side. Jump out of there. Come and get me.
What is real? Things will not change.
Yes. A lot of people are like, this build can't kill single target. Just not true. And again, it can be so... This build scales with your gear so much that I try to imagine what it would be like if I had the gear that I put in the build planner. All right. Yes, yes, yes. And you're done, bro. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with Avalanche, which is obviously your main damage dealer. Now, the way you want to go is left first. You want 1 into Mountain Peak, 1 into Precision, 1 into Wild Path, 4 into Unyielding Storm, 1 into Hailstorm. And Hailstorm is really what this build is focused around. Avalanche follows the player. Now, before I show you the rest of the tree, if you are struggling with mana whatsoever, you can put points into here, into naturally occurring, and this will give you better mana efficiency. But if your gear has good mana efficiency, as you could see during those runs, at no time did I run out of mana, okay? You then want to come up. You want 3 points into Explosive Impact, 1 into Mountain's Fury, 1 into Frost. This actually turns it into a cold skill. You then want 4 into Intensity, 4 into Storm Front, okay? Now, these two nodes are so important, okay? One makes them fall quicker. The second makes the boulders fall more frequently. That's why it's such a kind of machine gun when they are coming down. And right now I do have 21 points into Avalanche, but if you find a tier 6, tier 7 relic that has Avalanche on it, you can get an additional 2 to 4 skill points on there. Unfortunately, we didn't find one during our stream, but you can get Avalanche close to 25 points if it's geared correctly. And for me, if I had those points, I would likely go to Boulder Impact Area or maybe a little bit into mana efficiency. Okay. Moving over to Maelstrom, and right now we have 23 points into Maelstrom because of the level of our armor, or because we have skill level on our armor. You want 4 into Whirlpool, 5 into Turbulence, 5 into Gathering Storm, 3 into Calm, 1 into Windswept, 1 into Wind Fury, and 4 into Turmoil. Now again, if you are struggling with mana, you could pull a point out of Turmoil and you could put it over here into Calm, or vice versa. If mana's not a problem at all, you can take a point out of Calm and you could put it into Turmoil. Now here, chance on kill to cast Maelstrom. And killing an enemy has a chance to create a stack of Maelstrom. What's interesting about the wording is Maelstrom doesn't actually have to be the killing skill. So if you kill an enemy with Avalanche, you have a 1 in 4 chance to gain a stack of Maelstrom. Does not have to be a Maelstrom kill. Remember that. Moving over to Ice Thorns, and Ice Thorns is normally kind of like a nice auto skill, but for this build, it scales with Cold, Spell, and Attunement, which are the 3 main stats, so it actually does a little bit of damage as well. And you want 1 into Philly, 1 into Thorn Barrier, 5 into Dark Shield, 3 into Eternal Protector, 4 into Dagger Thorns, 2 into Bramble Armor, 4 into Spell Thorns, and then since I had that 1 extra skill, I just put it up here into Might, which makes it, since we're using a 2-handed weapon, 0 mana cost. So if we were ever out of mana, we could still use our Ice Thorns. Moving over to Warcry. Oh man, I love me some Warcry. Now, on Warcry, you want to go right first, then you want to go down, then you want to come up. Okay, follow me. 1 into Roar, 1 into Scream, 2 into Howl, 1 into Shallow Breath. This makes it where it cuts your cooldown in half. Okay, then you want 1 into Juggernaut, 3 into Breath of Aether. It's going to give you 300 life every time you click it. 1 into Purging Shout. This is going to cleanse all ailments when you click it. 4 into Whirlpool. And this is what I missed when I was streaming last night. I didn't have Whirlpool. I don't know how I missed it. Make sure my face isn't blocking it. But ultimately, every single time you use Warcry, you're going to get 4 stacks. Then you want to come up, 2 into Deep Roar, 4 into Battle Cry. This is going to give you a big boost to your crit chance, and this will affect Warcry's crit. And then 1 into Wraith, which is going to turn it into a cold spell. Okay. Last but not least, Fury Leap. And I kept bouncing between Fury Leap and Tornado. I like having the movement spell and having the buff in global damage from Fury Leap. So for this skill, you want 5 into Warrior's Entrance, 100% damage increase, 3 into Rage, cast speed increase, 3 into Panther's Strike, which will make it so you can use it more often, 5 into Crushing Impact, stun chance, and then 4 into Crater, which is going to give you a larger area for that stun chance. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passives, and right now our Endless Run Avalancher is level 95. level 95. In the base class, you want 8 into Natural Attunement, 1 into Primal Strength, 5 into Hunter's Restoration, and 6 into Wisdom of the Wild. I wish I could take points out of the base class, but you need to have a minimum of 20. This is where you want to put those points. All right, then we're gonna go over to Beastmaster, and you want 8 into Yersin Strength, 4 into Boarheart, 3 into Call of the Pack, and 5 into Porcupine Constitution. Now, obviously, this is going to give us Aspect of the Boar, and this is going to give us a ton of survivability. Normally, when you are making a Primalist, regardless of what build, you take 20 points into Beastmaster. And obviously, we don't have a companion, so these 3 points are almost kind of throwaway in order to get Porcupine Constitution, but at least you get a little bit of life. Moving over to Druid, something else that I kept throwing back and forth, but I feel like it's in a really good place. You want 5 into Spirit Warden. This is going to give you mana, or your mana cost is going to come back as health. You want 5 into Blessed Springs, 5 into Druid Prowess, 5 into River Spirits, and then up here, 3 into Stalker. Now, what this is going to do is every single time you crit, that crit is actually going to give you life back. And because of Warcry, and the crit chance you'll get from that, you'll actually be critting pretty often. So it's just a way to get some life back. Last but not least, into Shaman. You want 8 points into Shamanistic Infusion, 2 into Tempest Form, 8 into Supremacy, 2 into Windbringer, 5 into Shattered Heavens, 8 into Rune of Awe, 8 into Elemental Shrines, and right now, what I'm leveling right now is Swirling Maelstrom. Now here, it's 20% chance to cast Maelstrom when hit, and it gives you health and mana. So my next 2 levels, and I'm actually almost level 96, will go right here. So again, when you kill an enemy, you have a chance of getting a stack of Maelstrom. When you get hit, you have a chance to have a stack of Maelstrom. When you use Warcry, you will get 4 stacks, or you can just manually cast it. Those are the passives. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. And like I say on all my build guides, if you are looking for true endgame gear, check out the advanced build planner. That shows everything that I wish I had for this build. And the gear that I am currently using is what we were able to find during that 5-hour stream and me playing this morning, okay? So it's not true endgame gear, but I do want to show you it so you can match that to the gameplay earlier, okay? Now, when you're looking at my idols, the idols that you want to hunt for are actually large nomad idols that have percent to health and cold damage on it. And unfortunately, I don't have any of those. The idols that I am using is I have an Adorned that gives cold damage. I do have a Huge, which gives critical strike avoidance. And then in here, we have cold damage, we have health, and we have some resistances to fill out the survivability portion of this build. All right? Check the advanced build planner. Now, moving over to gear. No legendaries, no uniques, no sets are required for this. I honestly am extremely surprised how well and how good this build is with its current gear requirement, which is next to none. I'm going to go through each item one by one, starting with Helmet, Attunement Vitality, Amulet, Spell, Cold, Health, Armor, Level to Maelstrom, Life, Staff, Spell, Cold, Ring, Elemental Damage, Cold, Belt, Cold, Mana Regen, Ring, Spell, Elemental Damage, Relic, this is where we're getting a lot of our Mana Regen, and on your Relic, you can get plus skill points to Avalanche. Get that on your Relic, because I couldn't. Boots, Attunement Vitality, and Glove, Cast Speed, Attunement, Life. That is the gear. Now let's break down the character sheet for this endless run Avalancher. Like I said earlier, we are level 95. I have 17 points into strength, 73 into attunement, 31 into vitality. Our movement speed is only 22 because we did not take movement speed on our boots. But remember that with Maelstrom, we're going to get 52% pretty much all the time. So if you really wanted to, you can push that up to 70% with your boots. When you're looking at resistances, fire, lightning, cold, physical, necrotic, and void are all maxed. All we need is a little bit of poison. And when I mean a little bit, a lot. We pretty much have no poison resistances. When you're looking at damage, right now our cold damage is 607, but after we leap, it jumps up to 703. And with the right gear, you should be able to push that over 1,000. I could actually see it likely closer to 1,200% cold damage if you did it correctly. And then obviously after we use Warcry, you also get a boost to your crit as far as crit chance. Other defenses that we have, critical strike avoidance is at 81, endurance is at 33, and endurance threshold is at 589. Another stat you can look at, which I wasn't able to take for this build, is freeze rate multiplier. You can get this close to 1,000 as well if you want to freeze enemies, but it really doesn't do a ton as far as damage, but some people like going that route. That is the character sheet. Last but not least, let's talk about how you level up this endless run Avalancher. Now for me, it doesn't matter if you are a Beastmaster, a Shaman, or a Druid, I level up my Primalist classes the exact same way with the same 4 skills. I use Fury Leap, Swipe, Warcry, and Upheaval. Fury Leap, Swipe, Warcry, and Upheaval. Upheaval scales with physical, melee, and strength. Fury Leap, physical, melee, strength, and Swipe, physical, melee, strength, and you get all 3 very early in the game. Now this is what you want to do. For Fury Leap, you want to go up first and take Crater, take Savage Impact, take Aspect of the Mantis, then come down, take Warrior's Entrance, and Rage. That's how you want for that skill. Under Swipe, you want to take Way of the Hunt, 4 into Reach, 2 into Culling. It's going to give you the largest area, and it's going to give you Life Leech and a kill threshold. Under Warcry, you want to actually go up first, and you want to take Deep Roar, Battle Cry. This is going to give you a boost to your crit chance. Then you want to come down and take Berserker. This is going to make it where you hit harder and you hit a lot quicker. Okay. Last but not least, into Upheaval. This is kind of a fun skill. I like actually taking this top bar. You want 5 on Unstoppable Strength, 1 into Blow, 1 into Earth, and 2 into Maker. Now this is going to eat up a lot of your mana, but really you're not going to be spending any mana. And this is great if you are ever surrounded by a lot of enemies. 1 click will make a lot of craters. So again, that's the way I level up my Primalist: Upheaval, Fury Leap, Swipe, and Warcry. And when you are actually using your gear, you want to use one-handed weapons, but dual wield them. So for example, you would use Humming Bees, then you would switch to Taste of the Blood, then you would go to Rainbow's Edge and Oath, and you would just keep moving up as you level up. And if you don't have leveling uniques, no big deal. What you can do is go to Last Epoch Tools, search Weapon, and you would do the exact same thing, only with rare weapons, and you would just upgrade physical damage. You will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and improved Endless Run Avalancher? Is there something I missed that I could push it to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of this video. Ask number 1, hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it. It really does help the channel move forward into the future, but only if I've earned it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 45 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. We have a weekly blog post, weekly podcast, access to the VIP lounge, lots of other goodies based upon where you sign up at. And in that Discord, you could talk to me and we can chat and I can answer any questions you have. That's all I've got. Oh wait, don't forget, over 18 viable build guides in the description, and in the description is the advanced loot filter and build planner. Now that's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.